this doesn't make sense. Well, how I felt before I knew all of this stuff, before I was aware of the betrayal, doesn't count, because it wasn't real. Like, there was no you weren't being honest with me. You were cheating and lying to me for years. And then he goes, but according to you, you said you were happy. And the therapist didn't stop it. And I was kind of confused. Because I was like, is she seeing this play out where he's trying to get me to agree that somehow I was complicit in this, and that because I said I was happy at some point, that my wanting to be done with this is somehow not fitting for the situation as is in the present. So we got to a point where the therapist came back to him and said to him, if you value all these things about your wife and you say that you will miss that, what is it that you want for her? What is it that you want for her? What do you take responsibility for? How can you make amends? And he said he kind of put it back. It almost felt like a future faking situation where he said, I want her to feel happy. I want her to feel complete. I want her to be financially wealthy. I want her to have great experiences and not to experience the pain that I have caused her. And as he was saying it, I was thinking the only way to feel all those things is to get as far away from him as possible. So he was actually detailing my path to my healing, right? Because one, I could never feel or be happy in a situation with someone who can't see me, who can't empathize with the pain that he's caused me, with the humiliation, with just the devastation that I've experienced. And I do feel complete without him. I feel complete alone, but it does mess with your psyche when someone does so much to destroy your humanity and makes you appear and tries to make you feel as though your human side, the qualities that make you human and empathetic don't matter enough to treat you well. So that's where the damage was. And then the financially wealthy part was also kind of inconsistent, because while he's saying this, I was still not on the business. I still wasn't making a fair wage. He hadn't helped me with my relocation or anything. So as he's saying this, his actions, like everything else in the story, don't match up. And he said he wanted me to have great experiences, and we all know that's not going to happen with him. And to not have to experience pain from what he did. And I'm like, yeah, that means not dealing with you. So I said this all to myself because I realized this wasn't the opportunity. And then he goes on this monologue where he starts to talk about how he understands I've been through a lot of pain, a lot in my life, that I've gone through a lot of disappointment and trauma, and I've had a lot of tough things happen to me. So he's telling my story to the therapist. And he's saying that people have broken trust with me and have hurt me, and that even still I have resilience and the ability to see the glass as half full. And he's talking about all this stuff in a way that's kind of putting me on this pedestal, but at the same time saying, you've had a rough life. Things have just been really bad for you. It's been really tough. People have all treated you bad. And I'm listening and I'm like, wow, he's going there right now. He's been aware of this and he's done all of this knowing that about me. And now he's re-highlighting the fact that like people have always done this to you. Always. And so at the end of it, it just turned into this monologue. And then he started back again to the beginning where he's, where she said, well, what do you think the main issues are in your relationship? And he starts talking about past issues that have been resolved since before we got married. And his need for sex and his need for all this stuff and how he needs to feel butterflies. And it turned into this whole kind of narcissistic monologue about how it's never good enough and how he holds resentment and he doesn't communicate well because of past things that I've done. And it turned into this blame game. And I just was sitting there and I was just like, I just can't do this anymore. Like, I cannot sit here and have this person rehash things over and over again and not work on the present things that need to be done to do the work. Like, it's all a deflection. It's just hot air. It's just words. Like, there have been no concrete actions that have been taken that could ameliorate the issue. And so I sat there, and then the therapist just said, if you're thinking of pursuing a divorce, I ask that you wait 6 months. Just, and I'm like, 6 months for what? How much more time do I need to give this situation? Like, how much more torture do I have to endure? For what? And she was like, to give him a chance to do the work. And I'm sitting here going, this man has, in my head, because at this point I'm like, yeah, I'm not playing this game. I will do whatever I need to do to get out of this situation, but I won't say it out loud. But she still believes in this trope that like true love will persevere and he's going to change. And I'm like, okay. And she was like, we can check in, we can have, meetings every so often. And I just shut that down so hard. And I said, oh, no, ma'am, I am not doing any more therapy. There will be no more therapy. There is no couple. There is no relationship. There is no marriage. We are married on paper. That's it. We work together. And I'm fine with that. But we will not be working on this relationship anymore in this setting. I think we've tried enough. I think I've tried my best. I've twisted into a pretzel. I have been open to opening my relationship. I have been forgiving. I have been patient. I've done everything that in my power to make this bearable, tolerable, workable. I'm done. I'm not subjecting myself to this. You're expecting me to be abused in order to figure out if this can work, and this is abusive. Like, this is not healthy for me, and I will not do any more therapy. I have a therapist. I'm doing the work. I do not have a need to be with this man anymore. I do not want children with him. I do not want to live with him. Everything that I said I needed in a relationship, he has convinced me to give up for his sake, and he has given me nothing in return but games. So I'm not doing this part anymore. This is the part that I know that he wants to continue. I'm not doing this anymore. So I can stay in this marriage for as long as we need to, or I can divorce him. And basically I was completely non-committal to any side because I was realizing that whatever side I wanted to be on, he was going to fight me on it. So I said, I'm indifferent. We could stay here and do this forever, or we could not. It doesn't bother me. We could stay right here, or we can divorce. And I left it there where it was like, I don't care. And that was that. And I was polite when we got off the phone. He apologized for not being able to do the work or not having done the work and thinking that he could still do it. And I was like, oh, I understand. No hard feelings. We'll get through this. I said whatever I needed to say to make him think we were fine. And then I took my ring off when he left. And I put it away, and I vowed never to wear it again. because I don't have a marriage. I don't have a friend. I don't have someone that's authentic or who even cares a smidgen about me. And that was so clear in how he's treated me. And I wanted to believe that there was something there, that there was some redeeming quality, but all I saw and what I'm learning is that the more you give someone like this, the more they want and expect, and the less they respect you and appreciate you. And I'm not a sacrificial lamb. I'm a person with feelings and emotions and a heart, and who deserves love and care. And I have not been getting that from him. And I'm not going to beg for it. I'm not going to take scraps. I'm going to do what I can to get out of this situation as safely as I can. I'm going to be quiet about it, but I will not subject myself to therapeutic torture and abuse. And I hope she learned from that experience. I hope that I never told her what I thought he was or what he had, but I hope she's able to see that the issue is not me, that this is not a relationship issue, that this is an abuse issue, this is a control issue, and that this is something that cannot be fixed through therapy. And so I happily have removed myself from that situation. And I am pretty sure I'm going to stick to this. So thanks. I just wanted to share that with you. I'm making progress. It is not easy. It sucks. It sucks when you've had an idea of what your life was going to be like and you thought you think you know someone intimately, and you realize you know nothing about them. And when you find out who they really are and they're like awful, you feel duped, you feel angry, you feel sad, disappointed, you feel hurt, you feel sometimes like, why did this happen to me? Why was this my story? But I try not to do that, because this could happen to anybody. And I'm just glad that it happened to me, because I was able to make something of it. I'm going to tell as many people as I know about these types of relationships. I hope people learn about them before they have to endure them, because the pain of this is not worth the lesson. So yeah, I wanted to share that victory that I got out of that environment. And I'm still in therapy for myself. I'm still working on my self-care. I'm still holding my boundaries. I still treat him with respect and care, because he's not going to change who I am and how I am. What he's done to me is just a lesson. Painful, but he's not going to change me. I'm not going to be this person who doesn't believe in love or can't trust people, but I know I can't trust him. And that's really what I needed to know, and that I can trust myself, and I know that I'm making the right decision. So just wanted to share that. Thanks for listening. I'll keep you updated, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.